I thought I had cancer, and thankfully I do not. But for several weeks this year, this summer, I thought I had cancer. There was at least a really good chance that I did. And I don't know about you, but like every year I think I have cancer. Like every year there's something that happens. And I'm like, oh, that must be cancer. So I thought I did, but my doctor also thought I might have it. And I took some extensive tests and I got the news just a few days ago that I am completely cancer free. There is no cancer that can be detected. And I went through a lot of self-reflection during those few weeks and days where I thought there was something wrong. Seriously, for the first time, truly thought, oh, this actually could be it because the doctor was involved. And you may have gone through this. I mean, I think probably half the population has gone through this if you're of any age. And you may have cancer, have had it in the past, etc. Know someone certainly who has had it. And you understand that it makes you think about your mortality. It makes you think about what's important, what you want to get ready and prepared in case of emergency. All of that happened in just a few days. And on top of that, I was in physical pain. So that was like chronic physical pain those several weeks. And so that added to everything. But I have to tell you, I got very calm. I was scared and I was worried, and mostly for other people, as you probably can relate. I was worried for how my family members and how my friends and even how my audience might react to something ever happening to me. We're all going to go through something. We're all going to have a final, like it's life is fleeting, you know. So we're all going to go through it. And every other day, some famous person is announced having passed away. We went through something a few years ago where we lost so many people at once. You know, it was like, I know this is, I don't want to make light of it, but I often talk about it like it's like Marvel when Thanos got rid of half the population for a few years. And that's how it felt, you know. And so I had that time to reflect. And I believe me when I tell you, I am feeling great. And when I thought there was, let's call it a 70 to 80% chance that I had some form of cancer, that wouldn't be, you know, that would require surgery or other, I found a calm and a peace. I think the peace is the bigger word in it. And I told my wife, I said, you know, if something happens, I am happy. I am at peace with my life. I am very content. And I also want to live as long as possible while in good health, or in, you know, mediocre health. And I want my piece of the pie, right? I want my 80, 90, 100 years. I'd love that. And I'm also driven to not only live a long life, but to live a big life, a tall life, not just to live the length of my life, but the width of my life. I've always felt that way, always. And I feel that way so much right now. I also get to talk to entrepreneurs in depth for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes at a time every week from all walks of life and get deep dive discussions about their lives. I recently met someone who has suffered a traumatic brain injury. I'm going to introduce you to that person next week on my YouTube channel. And she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. And you can tell that, even though her form of communication has changed and some words are lost, you can tell she's brilliant by how she's adapting and how she's adapted her life in order to be able to communicate. And I can't wait to introduce you to her early next week, just a few videos from now. And of course, if you're watching this a few days from now, the video is already available. And that and talking to just people from all walks of life with all sorts of situations, people who have just gone through so much or who have accomplished so much or both. There's a width to life that I hope for us all, even under these circumstances, even through grief that hits us all. We don't even know when it's going to hit us. My mom lost her last living sister, Clotilde. I told you about her a few videos ago. She was my aunt, and she still is. And she took me in. She took my mom in when we were homeless. She took us in for quite a while, and we've always had a really special relationship. And my mom, my mom has lost her mother, her father, her husband. She lost her husband just a few years ago. She lost her best friend of 50 plus years the same week she lost her sister. Like this all happened in the last few weeks. And she called me a few days ago, like maybe 2 days ago. And I was filming. So actually I didn't take the call. It just went to voicemail. And then I called her back a few minutes later, and my mother, who's 76, was crying like a child. And she said, and it's been a month or so since Clotilde passed away. And she said, she's gone. She won't come back. And my mom had not cried yet. She had been in shock. And we knew that it was quite evident. She had been in shock. She had been in, okay, this is the mode. We're going to go to the memorial. We're going to take care of this and this person. And something about that 30-day mark or so just hit her out of nowhere and just toppled her for a few hours. And she said it's so finite. There's no, and she said such a poetically, so a poetic way. And then later on that day, I listened, like just 2 days ago, I listened to her voicemail that she had left. I didn't realize she had left a full voicemail. And it was 3 minutes of her crying and saying these words. And she said, I just have to say it out loud. And uh, that grief hits you. It hits you a month in, it hits you the day of, it hits you a year in, it hits you 4 years in, 10 years in. It hits you over and over again in waves. And what gives me hope during all of this and during all of the crazy times we're living in, I just don't even know where to start when it comes to what's happening around the world and what's happening in the United States. What gives me hope is like just how magical certain little moments can be, and it also helps me to look forward to something. Like I just look forward to this thing and I look forward to that, and then I find those small milestones. And what also helps me is thinking about what I've accomplished and what I can still accomplish if I were to just keep putting one foot in front of the other each day. Like every day I wake up and I say, how can I catalyze someone's success today? How can I impact someone today? And then I make sure that before I go to bed that I've done that at least once. And it turns out to be multiple times. And that keeps me going. It's a little bit of selfishness because it keeps me buoyed above water. And a lot of that is like when we think about the reason I'm making this video is because I was thinking about how, like, how do you talk to entrepreneurs about continuing to learn about their craft, to run their business, to sell? I remember this came up during the pandemic too. How do you sell in a time like this? And I think the way we do it is to understand that we're doing it for impact, and we're doing it for self-preservation, and we're doing it with integrity. So if you don't feel that you're in integrity with what you're selling, what you're promoting, what your business does, it's time to look at it and say, I probably need to do something different. By the same token, if you're working for a company or for a person that you think is not and does not have integrity, and you don't like the fact that you're helping them make more money, it's probably time to rethink that, because I don't want us to waste our lives. I don't want us to waste this precious time we have doing things that we don't think are right. And it sounds so simple, but sometimes we do, because we think, oh, this is the line. This is what we do. This is what you're supposed to do. Everybody makes sacrifice. Everybody does X, Y, or Z. What is it that you're doing right now? And how can you shift it just slightly, even if not drastically, to be more aligned with who you really are, what you really believe in, and the impact that you want to have in the world? There's there's a lane for all of us. There's room for all of us to have that. And um I want us to look up every once in a while. Look up when I did your first million live in 2024. We're coming back in 2026. Can't wait to give you all the information. But when I did your first million live, 2,000 people in Los Angeles, we had TLC, the legendary TLC music group, do a full arena level concert at the end. And when they first came out on stage, there weren't a lot of people in the audience. Like, there were hundreds of people, but not the 2,000 that were there. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. This is TLC. What are y'all doing? So I ran to my dressing room. We're in a big theater, famous theater. I run to my dressing room. The show is going great. People are having a good time. And I send out an email blast. And I'm like typing. I got to tell the whole audience, like, get back here. I think you're missing it. I don't think you realize this isn't two or three songs, on a mic. This is like a full on show. So I'm writing this email, and my wife, who's sitting next to me, she puts her hand on my leg and she says, Arlan, look up. Pause and look up. So I do, and I look up, and there is a screen that shows what's happening on stage and shows a little bit of the audience. And what she meant was, don't let this moment pass you by. TLC is on stage, and you made that happen. Don't let this moment pass you by because you're saying who else should be in the room. So I looked up, I paused. I was not only is TLC on the stage, but we just did 3 days of incredible work here, and 2,000 people came to it. What's going on? So I was so grateful for her for that, because I had that moment. I went back, I finished the email, I sent it out, and within about 10 minutes, the place was packed. A lot of people told me afterwards they simply didn't realize that it was a full on concert, and they were, it was the end of the event, so they didn't really understand it. And they were so happy that that email came out. But I was so happy that I looked up. So let's all do that. Let's all pause and look up. And they say pause and smell the flowers. That's a thing that people used to say, right? But stop and smell the flowers. But let's all pause and let's look up. And if you've watched to this point, I want you to say the code word, yes, I can. That's the code to let me know you've seen it this far. Yes, I can. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Let me know if you are subscribed, if you just subscribed today, if you found me and how you found me. Like, let me know all this information in the comments, because it really helps me with my videos. And we're going to make sure we're going to work together to subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Check to see if you're subscribed. If you're already subscribed, leave it as is, because if you unsubscribe to subscribe, it hurts my channel. But if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Make a point, take 15 seconds out to find the button and hit it. Make sure that you send this video to somebody who needs to hear it. And if you leave a comment, I look at every single comment you leave, and I appreciate you so much. This is it's like part of my day is reading your comments on YouTube. It's really, really fun for me, and I appreciate it so, so much. I appreciate your time. You're paying with your attention, and that means the world to me. It means the absolute world to me. I am so grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for this life, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for my ability to communicate to you. Certainly, certainly grateful for that. And knock wood, I'll see you around at age 100. We'll be the flyest 100-year old in the whole cul-de-sac. We will be there. I'll see you there. This is yours. This life is yours. The business that you have is yours. The place in entrepreneurship is yours. It belongs to you. You don't even have to fight for it. It's already yours. Let's just make it the not just the length of our lives, but the width of our lives.